many dreams, books, millionaires, ideas, skills, unfinished accomplishments are in the grave. Take a moment and think, what am I doing between the dash? You have to move right now because tomorrow is not promised. Join the Divine Connections movement in a couple of ways. 1, download the app for free. 2, subscribe to Divine Connections magazine. 3, if you have a book, a product, a service, gospel music, business, health and wellness product, church, or anything creative, join the Divine Connections movement VIP and make a commitment to join a network that supports others, give you major exposure, customer retention, and customer engagement. To find out more about VIP, text 336-338-8903 or email divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passions, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections magazine.
Well, great day, everyone, and welcome to Divine Connections podcast. I am your host and CEO of Divine Connections magazine, and we are grateful for the opportunity to share with you today a little bit about what's going on in the community and who's making it happen. So, Divine Connection is a faith-based and inspirational magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. We connect with different businesses, entrepreneurs, gospel artists, praise dance, mimes, vendors, pastors, authors, anyone that's doing something great in the community. And then twice a year, we have 2 big events, one in March, which is my anniversary. So we've been around for 13 years now. And we come together with praise dance, mimes, vendors, quartet group speakers. Sometimes we have speakers, sometimes we have a panel, depending on how we want to flow. And then we come together, we network and worship together. And then in October, we have an event called Bring It, where we bring in praise dance moms, vendors, sponsors, and we network and worship together. We also want to include our young people, so we have youth entrepreneurs as well. So mark your calendar for our next big event. Saturday, October 14th is coming for our next Bring It event, and we'll show you a little bit about that. We are also online, so you can download our app at Divine Connections Magazine and go ahead and install that if you're Google Play Store or your iPhone, and then also create a profile so we can connect with you and find out who you are, what you do, and you can also connect with awesome, great, phenomenal people that network, gospel artists, praise dance moms, vendors, all of that will be on our app. So go ahead and download Divine Connections magazine. We also have our online store. Well, you can go shopping and share some love with the Divine Connections. We have hats, we have shirts, we have hoodies, we have socks, we have pillows, we have blankets, we have tumblers, we have over 100 products. So go check out the store, bit.ly/Divine Connections store. All right. So we love making it happen and sharing with you who people are. So let's get into some information. But first, we're going to go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back, and we'll tell you how you can be a sponsor as well.
The bad news is suicides rise again in the U.S., increases highest among Black people ages 10 to 24. People need hope. The good news is hope is on the way. Join Mothers in Crisis Hope Pass It On campaign. Please visit makeahopeconnection.com. Hope, pass it on, and save a life.
Hope, pass it on, and save a life. That is one of our sponsors, and we do have opportunity for you to be a sponsor. If you have a 30-second commercial for your business or your gospel group, we would love to share this platform with you and share with other people who you are, what you do. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now, let me give you just a little insight of how we do the event called Bring It in October, and I'm going to show you just a little clip from last year's event. Check it out. Awesome. So again, get ready for our next big event, Saturday, October the 14th at 11 a.m. at the Mebane Arts Center. If you are interested in being a sponsor, and sponsorship includes being a vendor, being in the magazine for 3 months, and being on the app for 3 months. And if you're able to attend that, you could be there as well. But if you're not able to attend, you could still be a sponsor, get some benefits as well. We're going to have gospel groups. We're going to have praise dance moms, vendors, youth vendors. Definitely excited about that. And we're going to come together and network and worship. So if you want to know more information about it, let us know, and want to see if you can participate. I think I have about 3 openings left for youth vendors, and then maybe 8 more spots for adult vendors as well. So if you're interested, definitely let us know. If you have a group that's a mom ministry or praise dance ministry, also let us know. This event is in North Carolina. All right, so let's show a little bit clip of what's in our store. Hold tight. Awesome. So go check out bit.ly/Divine Connection Store. So let's get into it. How can you get connected? How can you advertise your business, your ministry, any positive things you have going on in community? Let's talk. Let's connect. Text 336-338-8903 or email divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. We do half page as well as full page advertisement, and your ad runs for 3 months. So we want to help you get the word out there. So definitely stay connected with us. Also, if you want to connect, find out more information about Divine Connections, who we are, what we do, what services we provide, go to our website at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Go check it out and join our email list for updates and news. We're also on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. We're on Instagram. Follow us there at Divine Connections. And we also have a YouTube channel, The Divine Connections. Make sure you subscribe and click the notification button to let me know who you are, what you do, and then stay connected with us. And if you have a channel, I'll like that as well. All right. We have our magazine. So our new one is coming out, but I'll show you what we recently have. divineconnectionsmagazine.com. So this was the recent one. that we had, and we just switched over. So I'll get the new covers very, very soon. But you can go to the website now and order the current one at divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscriptions. We also have digital as well as hard copy, so you can choose which option that you will like. If you choose hard copy, you can choose the number, you can change the number of quantity of magazines you would like, so you can share it with your family, your friends, and organizations as well. If you have a 30-second commercial and you would like to be a sponsor on the show, let's talk and see what you have going on. And if you're a good fit, we can do a 3-month agreement for $150, sharing with people who you are, what you do, and you can be on this broadcast either before, after, or during our interviews as we interview weekly. All right, so excited about that opportunity as well. If you need a 30-second or 60-second commercial for your business, your ministry, your book, your gospel group, or your event, please let us know. We serve in that capacity as well. We would love to create you a 30-second or a 60-second commercial. All right, so I'm grateful for the opportunity for my book. My second book is now available called, nope, wrong one. Hold on. Called The Key Connector, How to Build an Empire Helping People. And I talk about how I have accomplish things in my personal as well as in my business life with the help of the Lord, having faith in the God that I serve and having faith in me. And so if you want to know how I do what I do, whether it's personal or in business, check out the book and get all the nuggets and the good information. All right. So you can go to Amazon. You can also go to Walmart.com. You can get it from me. And then you can also, if you get it from me, I can send you a signed copy. All right. So I would love to connect with you and you get the book so you can find out how I do what I do with the help of the Lord. All right. So our journal is now available. Making It Happen. You are a divine connection because you are. We write the vision, make it plain, execute, and we celebrate. God is going to do phenomenal things in your life and mine. And so we just want to take a journey and look back at what God is going to do for us, or is doing for us, and is going to continue to do for us. So get your journals, great gifts as well. Making It Happen. You are a divine connections. And you can order that from me as well. Don't forget to download the app at Divine Connections Magazine. Just type that in your Google Store or your Apple Store and download it and create a profile for that. And then our store is bit.ly/Divine Connections Store. All right. And we have over 100 products. We would love to see you with the apparel on. All right. And so we're grateful for the opportunity. And now for the good part, we have our special guest that's in the house. But before he comes on, I'm going to share with you a little bit of the current music that just came out today. Awesome. So check this out for my artist.
How are you living your life? Tell me, do you recognize that you do what feels good to you? All the material things and all the places you go, nothing compares to losing your soul. Oh, make up your mind, it's time to live right. Think of your soul. Turn your back on the world. Don't be afraid to let go.
Seems today we live
Justify them with the words. Yeah, 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 yeah. But if you take the time, then you realize true meaning is found in God's word. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Make up your mind, it's time to live right. Think of the soul. Why do you hesitate? Don't wait too late. Just let go.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Help me welcome the one and only Mr. Charles Moore is in the house and faithful few.
Hey, how you
Great
doing?
day. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How about yourself? Good to
Doing
be with you.
well. Doing well. What'd you say?
It's good to be with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great to have you. Welcome, welcome. You're doing great things in the community. So let's get into it. Let's tell people a little bit more about yourself and where you're from.
Okay. Well, my name is Charles Moore, and I'm formerly a pastor of Divine Direction Christian Church for over 20 years. And I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, and also I'm a small business owner. But I'm a musician and I'm an author. But most importantly, I love the Lord.
Amen and amen to that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you're doing great things in the community. That was the single that came out today.
Yeah, actually, we just released that single out today. We filmed the video, and then after we filmed the video, got it rolling, and then they released the actual single today. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, congratulations to that. So tell people where they can go get that single from.
Ooh, it's on every digital outlet. But if you go to my website,
Mhm.
charlesmoorepraise.com, you can go there and get it from Spotify. You can get it from iTunes. All of the major ones is every digital outlet. You can get Amazon, all of them. So that's a good place to go. And also, you can go there to get my books.
Okay.
I have a couple of books. Giving Up Is Not an Option and Standing on the Word of Adonai. Those are out there as well.
Standing on the word of Anani. Talk about that.
Yeah. So Standing on the Word of Adonai is a sequel to Giving Up Is Not an Option.
Mm,
Um, they're based on true stories. One is where I had lost my son
mm,
and to cancer, to kidney cancer.
mhm.
And it talks about Giving Up Is Not an Option, talks about the perils of going through some things and how tragedy doesn't discriminate. And
Yeah.
so it talks about all of those things. And then he came around and he survived. Um, but then when I started writing the book, Standing on the Word of Adonai, he passed. So he
Mm,
lived 7 years.
wow.
And after the 5 years, he was doing, up to 5 years, he began to do really, really, really well. That's when
Mhm.
I wrote Giving Up Is Not an Option. Then I began to write Standing on the Word of Adonai. And during my writing Standing on the Word of Adonai, which Adonai is the Hebrew word for God. And
Mm,
so uh, when I began to write that, he passed before I could finish it. And so I finished writing it. And when I finished writing it, it all connected together. And it talks about what else do you have when you have things that go on in your life or things didn't turn out the way you thought they should? What
mhm.
else do you have? And
Yeah.
so it was pretty powerful. It's really powerful, actually. So I don't want to give it away. You got to
Right.
read it.
Right, right, right. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. So that was one book, and you mentioned another book as well.
Yeah, that one was, it was, the first one was Giving Up Is Not an Option.
Okay.
And then Standing on the Word of Adonai is a sequel to Giving Up Is Not an Option.
Okay.
Giving Up Is Not an Option is the first time, going through uh, the trials and tribulations, so to speak. And there was times when I felt like tossing in the towel, but the Lord took the towel and tossed it back at me.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
giving up was not an option. Whatever it is you're going through, you just got to deal with it. especially, if you walking with the Lord, because it ain't always easy, that's for sure. When you go through things in your life. So giving up is not an option is the first one. And then once you read that and you go to Standing on the Word of Adonai, they're pretty powerful.
Awesome.
And
Wow.
they're easy reads too.
What'd you say? Easy reads?
They're easy reads.
Okay. Very good. Very good. And so with that, you also have a ministry as a pastor. Let's talk about that. When did you get started with that?
Man, I started pastoring over 20 years ago,
Okay.
and that wasn't something I aspired to do. But through a series of events, it just happened. It's kind of like, there's several people in the Bible, and a good one is Moses, who's like, wait a minute, what are you calling me for? Are you sure about this?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like one of those guys who, I'm thinking, well, Lord, I'm a musician. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I grew up in the church,
Mm-hmm.
but growing up in the church doesn't qualify you to be a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
But there is an old saying: God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies who He calls.
That's right.
Very important. And so He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. One thing led to another, and I ended up pastoring a church that I used to go and do concerts at. Never saw it coming. And so for 20 years, I pastored the church and Divine Direction Christian Church. So I was tickled at your name,
Yes, yes.
the Divine Connection. And
Yeah.
so did that for many years, and did a lot of things to help the community. We fed people. We kept people's lights on. We did all kind of things. And I don't say this bragging or boasting, but the Lord allowed me to be a pastor for 20 years without ever taking a salary,
Mm,
and it was a blessing. And some people would say that that's crazy, but not necessarily. It depends on what God has you do.
mhm.
And so that's what He gave me, and we were able to be a blessing to a lot of people. And so this is my this is actually my first full year not being a pastor. Next month will be my first full year not being the pastor of the church, because the Lord gave me last year. It was time for me to step away so that I could give my full attention to what He has me doing in terms of going out with the music ministry. And boy, that really took a twist. So, I
Wow.
mean, I've been all over the place. I've been on Dorinda Clark's show. I've been on
Mhm.
Bobby Jones' show. I just got back from the Bahamas over
Okay.
there performing. It's just, and, Europe with Carol. Headed back there. Looks like I may be going to South Africa. I
Okay.
just all kind of stuff. So, you know, while I was pastoring, I thought to myself, how in the world could I do all of these things?
Mm.
And now that I've stepped back, I scratched my head and I said, it had to be God giving me
Right.
angelic wings to keep
Hmm.
going,
That's right.
and He allowed me to be good at it.
Hmm.
So He gave me everything I needed. So now it's that season, and I'm sure that seasons come and seasons go. There'll be another point in time where once that season is over of Him having me all over the place, then I may be back pastoring again. But once a pastor, you're always a pastor. It just never goes away.
Right. Right. Awesome. Awesome. So now that you're in transition with the gospel group, let's talk about how the gospel group got started.
So I had started Charles Moore and the Faithful Few. I'm going to say back in probably, I don't know, 2003. And it didn't. It was really, I don't know how to put it. It was just strange. It just I started off playing as a bass player for somebody, and as I was playing the bass for him, um, we were helping another group, and then out of that, all of a sudden they said, "Hey, we need somebody to do this and sing and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, "Well," I was just kind of strolling along playing my bass, and
Hmm.
they all looked at me and pointed and said, "You sing." I said, "What?" So wait a minute. Now, I grew up singing as a little boy. The Lord blessed me to open for the Williams Brothers, the Jackson Southern News, a lot of different. Because my aunt was a gospel radio personality in Northeastern Ohio.
Okay.
And so I wasn't foreign to that, but as I got older, I got away from that and started doing mainstream music in college and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
And so then the Lord brought me back. And when He brought me back, there was a period of time I didn't want to touch an instrument, didn't want to sing a song, didn't want to do anything
Yeah.
And during that period of time, he was dealing with me and
Mhm.
shaping me and molding me. So when I came back to doing music, I didn't have the same mindset. I really started realizing it was a gift.
Mhm.
And so, I would, started the group, and then we started playing and doing a lot of different things. And then over time, as I started becoming a pastor, I started thinking, well, maybe I don't need to be doing music anymore.
Mm.
I ran into Donnie McClurkin.
Okay.
And Donnie McClurkin said to me, we were at the NAACP Image Awards, and he said to me, I wasn't a pastor at that time,
Mhm.
but things looked like it was headed that way. And I asked him, how does music and pastoring work together? And so, he shared with me, they work like a hand in a glove. Long story short, um, I started pastoring and I was doing music. And then I thought, yeah, I think I'm just going to focus on pastoring, no more music.
Uh-huh.
And, but just didn't work out that way. My aunt told me, hey, you're called to do this. And so you stay with this. So we just kept at it, and just kept practicing and kept playing. And the next thing you know, the Lord did his thing.
I love it. I love it. Um, divine direction.
Hmm.
Where did that come from?
I knew you were going to ask me that question. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Well, so you're going to like this.
Okay, I'm ready.
So back in my hometown of Akron, Ohio,
Mhm.
my brother's a pastor.
Mhm.
His name is Pastor Chris Moore, and he's in the Church of God in Christ. And his my sister-in-law, um, his wife, they had a marching group, for
Hmm.
a youth marching group for
Mhm.
kids. This goes back years,
Yeah.
and they had a youth marching group. So one day I came to town. I
Mhm.
wasn't a pastor, didn't even have a church, wasn't even thinking about it. And so I came to town, and they were in a parade, a Memorial Day parade.
Mhm.
And so uh, we all got in. I got in the van. They was walking and they was marching and they was doing their thing. And I
Mhm.
was watching them. And on the front of the T-shirts, it said "Divine Direction." And I
Mhm.
watched the babies flipping the batons and marching, and they had the gospel music going, and they was getting down.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, all of these other marching bands was doing their thing, but
Mhm.
these young babies and young kids were
Mhm.
marching, to the music, to the gospel,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they was throwing down. And I thought, man, this is so powerful. And I just watched them and I was so proud. I
Mhm.
remember when I got ordained, I remember I, I, I started asking the Lord about, I got ordained and I asked the Lord, am I starting a church? What's going on here? And I said, man, I don't even have a name. And I
Mhm.
was sitting on the couch and I was just kind of thinking about things. And then all of a sudden, bang, I saw that band. I saw them kids. I saw them
Mhm.
spinning the batons, and I
Mhm.
saw them marching to the music,
Yeah.
following that divine direction. The music was ahead of them. They was behind. And
Yeah.
ah, that would be the name, divine
Yeah.
direction,
I love it.
because it's you're following the Lord's lead. He's the one that's divine. And
Mhm.
so when I became pastor, the church was actually named another name. And I'll never forget, I went to lunch with my superintendent, and
Uh-huh.
I thought to myself, I said, Lord, now you gave me this name. So if you gave me this name, well, how does this work? Because this church already has a name. It was the funniest thing. We were sitting and eating, and my superintendent said, I think you should change the name. I never
Mhm.
even said two words to him. He said, I think you should change the name. I said, really? I couldn't even eat my food after he said that. And I, but he said, change the name. And when he said that, I thought about it. And I said, well, I'll be dog. Name's going to be Divine Direction.
Mhm.
So I went to the church. I waited a while, and then I shared that with them. And I thought these people are going to be mad at me because this church has been named this, for years. But when
Mhm.
I said that, they were all like, "This is cool." And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, "Well, that's how I knew it was the Lord,
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
direction." So, and then we did a lot of good work, and it was so funny because we had these shirts. And it
Mhm.
was neat to see people over in Haiti wearing Divine Direction shirts, or people in
Mhm.
Puerto Rico wearing Divine Direction shirts.
Yeah.
That said a lot. And the video you saw, Divine Direction.
Uh-huh.
And that's what it all comes out of.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, give us some just insight of you going through your journey, and if someone is struggling with, I guess, really following what God has told them, or instructions or guidance, or what the next steps or next levels are in their life, give them some encouraging words to um, go into the divine direction.
Well, first of all, I'll say this. My mom always told me, she said, son, she said, follow him, not them.
Mm-hmm.
Follow him, not them.
Mm-hmm.
She said, if you want to be successful in working for the Lord, you have to listen to his voice. And sometimes that means you got to be quiet
Mm-hmm.
and listen. Listen to what he's saying. And the other thing is once the Lord has made it clear for you to go do something, go do it. He owns the consequences of whatever he calls you to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things when you pastor, I've learned a great deal. I mean, I've learned a great deal. I used to get on my knees, and I would, every Tuesday, I'd get on my knees crying and praying for people, and some of the same people over and over and over. And I remember the Lord gave me, get up, stop it. You've already prayed for them. I
Mm-hmm.
need you to move forward. How can you move forward if you stand in that same spot? Some people are going to be who they are. They
Yeah.
make some personal decisions themselves. You can't want something worse for somebody else than they want it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Had you do this, you did this. Now I need you to move forward. Listen to the voice of the Lord and move forward, because seasons come and
Yeah.
seasons go. And when God gives you something, you got to understand you don't own it. He
Mm-hmm.
does. So
Mm-hmm.
if he tells you to let go and move on, you've got to let go and
Yeah.
move on, because whatever he puts you in, he's the one who owns it. And if he moves you anywhere, again, he owns the consequences of whatever he has you to do. So
That's
you don't
right.
need to worry about people.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to worry about what people think. Be more concerned about what your heavenly Father thinks. And if you do that, don't lean to your own understanding, as the Bible
Yeah.
says. You know, don't be wise in your own eyes, but just look to the Lord. If he truly is the author and finisher of your faith, look to him, and then keep it moving, and know that he owns everything, and he owns the consequences of what he has you do. And don't be scared. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you really do got to step out on audacious faith.
Yeah.
Audacious faith. So that means sometimes you got to step on water, and you got to be willing to walk on it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, as long as you're holding on to the hand of the Lord. You can do it. Just be encouraged. You can.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Divine direction. I love that. Any other words or anything else you want to share before we leave?
I would just say, I know we live in some pretty rough times right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that sometimes, you scratch your head and you wonder what the next moment would be, the senseless violence, the senseless acts of things that we see our leaders. It's just, it's a very unorthodox time right now.
Mm-hmm.
However, the one thing that we still need to remember, and I'd like to leave this parting shot for all true believers,
Mm-hmm.
this passage that every true believer should know. It's in Deuteronomy 29 and 29.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 29 and 29. It says, the secret things belongs to God, and what is revealed belongs to us.
Mm.
So just know that God is still in charge.
Yeah.
No matter what we see going on, if he wants us to know deeper, he'll let us know deeper. We just need to trust him that he's in charge, and that no matter what we see, he has a plan. We just have to stay focused on him. If we do that, I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Stay focused, divine direction. Thank you so much for coming on and
No problem.
sharing today. Hold tight for us. Thank you for being my guest, Pastor Charles. Make sure you guys
Yeah.
you're very welcome. Go to his website and get all the information that you need, whether it's um, from the church, from music, everything, social media, all that information is on his website. So definitely connect with him and get connected to this awesome man of God. Thank you so much for coming on. Hold tight for us.
Okay.
I'll be right back with you. But I am Deloris Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the number one at Divine Connector, which is Jesus Christ. We'll talk to you soon. Hold tight, Mr. Charles.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution, so get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections Magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections Magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections Magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started now.